Hello and welcome to our second Lancashire Science Festival live broadcast of today. We're getting a sneak peek today of some of our scientists and engineers' absolute favourite experiments. So we've asked some of our scientists and engineers from the University of Central Lancashire to share with us some of the awesome things they're going to be doing during the festival. Now, if you have any questions during our experiments, please get in touch. You can tweet us or contact us on Facebook. The details are just below here, and we will try and answer during the broadcast. If we don't have time, we'll answer the questions in the next broadcast because they're going to be once an hour at 1/2 until 2:30. Now, on this broadcast, we've got Dr Cat Tennick.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone. So Cat is a forensic scientist, that's right, isn't it?
I am, yes.
And Cat is going to tell us all about bones. So Cat, with lots of interesting things on this table, what are you going to show us today?
Yes, some really interesting things. So if we start off with, we've got some skulls on the table today, you might have noticed. And this is just one part of the human skeleton, and one part of forensic science that we're going to talk about a little bit today is something called forensic anthropology. Ooh. Which means that we look at bones and we see what we can tell about the human skeleton by looking at the bones themselves. Wow. So the skeleton is really, really interesting and really, really amazing for forensic scientists. What kind of things, Liz, do you think that we might be able to tell from looking at your skeleton?
Oh, I wonder. Age, maybe?
Age is a really good answer. Brilliant. And if anyone out there was thinking age as well, that's a great one. Fantastic. Yeah, so we can tell age by looking at your skeleton. And one of the things that's really good for telling age is actually your teeth.
Teeth?
Yeah, teeth. Everyone's smiling. That's all good. So, yeah. If you're in school at the moment and you're in your classroom watching this, and you're at primary school, lots of you have got what we call deciduous teeth, or your milk teeth.
Oh, I've heard milk teeth before.
Milk
deciduous.
Teeth. Deciduous.
Deciduous.
Deciduous means they shed, a bit like the leaves on the trees, deciduous teeth or milk teeth. Yeah, so you start losing your milk teeth at maybe about 6 or 7, and you lose them as each year goes on. Yep. You then get new teeth, your adult teeth come through. So actually, if you're in a primary school, you have fewer teeth than your teacher, because as adults, we have more teeth than we do as children.
Yeah, we get the wisdom teeth as well that come through, don't we?
Yeah, when you're, they come through for some people, but not everybody. And yes, they come through when you start getting into your late teens.
So are these real skulls, Kat?
So these aren't real skulls. Right. These are really good casts. Yeah. So we've taken a mould from a real skull so you can see what they look like, and we can handle them really safely without worrying about breaking them or harming them in any way.
Fantastic. So you've got some other bones here. Is there different things that we can find out with these other types of bones?
Yes. So we talked about telling age from your teeth, but actually we can also tell your age by looking at how your bones grow in your body. So any idea what bone this might be, Liz?
I don't know. Maybe leg?
Close, not
arm?
Far away. Arm bone. Excellent. Yes. So this bone belongs in your arm, and we actually call it your humerus.
Is that your funny bone?
It is your funny bone. Well done.
I genuinely didn't know that.
And that's why when you hurt your funny bone, this is your funny bone. Yeah. Okay. So the long bones in the body, we can look at how they grow. So if you have a look at this bone here and this bone here, these are both. Yes, please. If you could hold that one for me. These are both. They're both the humerus bone, but they're at different stages. And can you see? We've got a little line at the top here, and we've got a line here, and actually we've got what look like separate bones at the bottom. And again, although everyone at home, if you're in the classroom and you're in a primary school, you have more bones in your body than your teacher does.
Ah.
Yeah, because your bones grow. They start off as cartilage. So if you squash your nose like this and squash your ears like this, you're feeling cartilage, squashy. Yeah, it's all squashy and soft. So that, and what happens is the blood vessels then come into the bone and the bone starts to build. It builds from the middle and it also builds from the end. And as you get older and older and your bone gets bigger and bigger, eventually it all joins up like this.
So it fuses.
It fuses, okay. And do you know what the last bone in the body to fuse is? Any ideas?
Toes?
Toes, a good guess. It's actually up the other end. It's this bone here. And you might be able to feel it just at the top.
Is that your clavicle?
It is your clavicle. You'll also have heard it called your collarbone.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is your clavicle or your collarbone, and this is the last bone to finish growing. So actually, even though you might be as tall as you're going to get when you get to secondary school, you keep growing until you're in your 20s, maybe, and this will be the last one to finish growing. So, these are some of our bones, and I've actually bought a real bone.
Because all the human ones, they were casts, weren't they?
These are all casts, but I've brought a real one today for you to have a look at. And this is a real animal bone, okay? And any idea what bone this is, Liz?
Well, a pig maybe? It looks kind of longer.
Yeah. So it's
actually...
Oh,
from a pig. Did you mean which bone?
It's a sheep bone.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. But we do often...
It's a pig bone.
It is a sheep bone, but it's a rib bone.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it comes from your ribs, your rib cage around here. And they're really, really important because they protect your heart and they protect your lungs and all of the important organs. Yeah. You've got inside here. So they need to be, although they're quite thin, as you can see, they're actually quite strong. So if I try and bend that and break that, it's not really bending or flexing much. And that's good because it acts like a shield for all of our organs.
So what is it about the bones that makes them strong?
So one of the things that makes them really strong is the calcium in your bones. It's the mineral part of the bone. So when we say to eat foods with lots and lots of calcium in, that's one of the reasons why.
Strong bones.
It makes your bones nice and strong, which helps to protect you and also means that you can move about and do all the things that you want to do.
So you've brought something along that's quite strange here. It looks like this is a bone, but it's been soaking in something brown.
Yes, so it looks a bit gross, I will give you that.
Yeah.
But the brown stuff in this measuring cylinder is actually vinegar. Okay, just like the vinegar you put on your fish and chips. Yeah, exactly the same, no different. But this bone, we've actually, some students and I have soaked this in vinegar for about 2 or 3 months.
Wow.
Okay, so it's been in there for a very long time. Yeah. And what should have happened is that the calcium comes out of the bone. It reacts with the vinegar.
Oh, like a chemical reaction.
It's a chemical reaction, and so we want to see if it's changed the bone at all. Shall we have a look at it?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Okay, let's take it out. So, it kind of looks darker than our other bone, which you might expect. Okay, now let's try and bend it.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
Wow, that's amazing. And that was just like this bone?
It's now, look at it, it's like an eel or a snake. This is still a bone. It's the same type of animal bone. It's just been in vinegar for 3 months. So this is what a chemical reaction can do when we take the calcium out of your bones. So what you've got left now is just the collagen part.
Right,
so collagen is the flexible part of the bone. Look, we can even tie the bone into a knot. How cool is that?
That's amazing.
That is awesome. So we can tie it into a knot. Collagen I'm just going to untie it here.
You don't want to leave your bone in a knot.
No, no. So collagen is the soft stuff that we find. You'll find it in your skin, for example, and it's what helps to make it, that makes it ping and makes it nice and elastic. And that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing soft, elastic part of the bone. Now all the calcium has gone. Right.
So the vinegar has dissolved the calcium with a chemical reaction.
Yes.
And now we just have collagen, so it's bendy.
And now we just have the collagen, so it is super bendy.
So I can't help but notice you also have some other items here that appear to be soaking in vinegar.
Yes.
It looks the same, it smells the same.
I know.
What's inside?
Really fancy fish and chips now.
Really? Ooh, look, I really do. Know what I'm having for tea tonight.
But instead, what we've got in here are we've got some eggs. So if I show you, we've got, this is a normal egg, okay, just straight from my kitchen at home. And you can see that the shell is nice and hard and firm.
Looks like a normal egg to me.
Yeah. Because, again, that shell has got calcium in it, okay?
Is it calcium carbonate?
It is calcium carbonate.
And is that the same as the calcium in bones? Is that calcium carbonate?
There's a little bit of a difference, but there's calcium in both of these.
And the strength comes from that mineral.
And the strength comes from the calcium, comes from the mineral. So let's have a look at these that we've soaked in vinegar. So we watched what happened with the bone. So what do we think will have happened with the eggs if the calcium has gone into vinegar and we've had that chemical reaction? What will have happened if the same thing happens with the bone?
Well, do we think it's got harder and stronger or softer and more flexible?
What do you think?
I think it's probably got softer and flexible if it's like the bone.
Should we see if she's right?
Okay.
Let's have a look.
Does that mean I've got to pick up one of these eggs?
Do you want to pick one up and I'll pick one up?
Okay. The things I do for science. Oh.
Let's have a look.
Oh, you can see it's all squidgy.
Okay, look at that. So we've got the real egg, and this is the egg that's been in vinegar.
Shall I see if I can squidge it open?
Oh, right. I'm going to stand well back. Come on then. Can you break it open? Is it going to go?
I don't know.
Is it going to go? Oh!
I wasn't expecting that to happen.
So just to prove we're not trying to fob you off with bouncy balls, that is very definitely real yolk.
Talk about egg on my face or hand.
This is what we call an egg-experiment. Hey, there we go.
So I think you've got one last experiment, which I want to do quickly. So we talked about the calcium.
We did.
Now you've got calcium carbonate, which was like the eggs.
We'll just get everything is now covered in yolk.
Okay.
But that's all right.
Okay. So I think if we just pass them in, let's really go for it.
All
and I'll
right.
leave the sheep bone out of the way.
Okay. So this is calcium carbonate, like in the eggshell, and it contains calcium, like in the bones.
Does it make the thing that makes it strong?
And that's the thing that makes it strong. And now we're going to see the reaction that happens when we pour in the vinegar. So do you want to pour in the vinegar for me?
So with the egg and the bone, this was slow, but we've purified it, so it's going to be much more concentrated.
So this reaction is going to be much quicker than happened in the bone and the eggs, which took a lot longer.
Okay, so
ready? 3, 2, 1, and pour. Wow, look at that. Okay, look at all of those bubbles. That is a brilliant chemical reaction.
And is that carbon dioxide that's been released?
So you can see all of the bubbles around here. Yeah, and that's because the gas, carbon dioxide, is released. And carbon dioxide, if you breathe in, you're breathing in oxygen, and if you breathe out, you're breathing out carbon dioxide.
Fantastic. Oh, well, thank you so much, Kat. I've learned a lot. I've learned not to squeeze an egg that's been soaked in vinegar. But I've also learned a lot about bones, so thank you so much. Thank you, everybody who's been watching. If you do have any questions, please post them on the Facebook and Twitter, and we'll answer in the next broadcast. Please come along to the Lancashire Science Festival on Saturday. It's completely free, and you can find more details on the website, which is just listed below. So thank you, Kat. Thank you, everybody,
Thanks,
and we'll
Liz.
see you in an hour.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye. I can't believe that. I know.